And we are never, never getting back together. Yes. So Donald Trump is drunk hate tweeting the Freedom Caucus tonight. He's very upset with them for not going along with his repeal. It's just insane. The thing about all this shit is nobody really wants to know about all this stuff because it's so fucking complex. The rest of the world, the rest of the country, the world, they don't care about this shit. It's so complex what we're trying to deal with. And thank God it's somewhat entertaining because of Trump. So the Freedom Caucus is just a bunch of fuckers who go against everything. You know, they wanted full repeal. They wanted no more mandates. They wanted this all done in one full swoop. They wanted everything gone. Now, from what I can tell, and I could be wrong, because I'm telling you, this stuff is so complex, I don't even want to know about it. I don't want to study this stuff. This stuff is so boring. It's such bullshit, but we have to, right? I mean, the other thing I would tell you is, you know that other people don't care about this shit, because if you go to any representative's page, Facebook page, barely anybody follows them. Nobody follows them. Nobody cares about politics. Nobody follows their own representatives. Go check your House of Representatives and see how many people follow them on Facebook. Nobody does. So anyway, the Freedom Caucus is a bunch of people who are like 40 super conservative House of Representatives who wanted nothing to do with this repeal unless it was completely done at once. And from what I can tell, you can't do that. With a bill like this, it has to be done piece by piece. So I'm not even sure they knew what they were doing. I just think it's funny that Donald Trump is out there pissed off tonight about, I'm supposed to go landscape, and it's too late. Sorry, it didn't go landscape. Sorry, it didn't go landscape. Might be better for me if I don't go landscape. So they have the Freedom Caucus, who really are horrible people, and they stopped this bill because the bill itself was not horrible enough for them. So that's the Freedom Caucus. Now you have a bunch of other conservative House of Representative people who we don't know exactly why they voted against the repeal. Now, it could be because they're good people, and that they actually were caring that they might kill a lot of people, like particularly here in New Jersey. Because I have to speak of New Jersey, because 500,000 people would have been kicked off Medicaid. So we had Frank Lobiondo, who I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, but I know he's one of our representatives, who voted no, Republican, and also tweeted and said, "Stop calling my office. You're not going to arm twist me. I'm voting no against the bill, or against the repeal, excuse me." So that was pretty ballsy. He went directly to the public and said, "Stop calling my office. You're not going to arm twist me. I'm not going to change my vote." Now, I don't know if it's because he may not get reelected or not. I don't know the New Jersey infrastructure, if you will, the political world in New Jersey well enough to know. But I'm pretty sure he's on the line whether he's going to get elected or not. But the bottom line is that people, and Joe was right, activism actually did work. Thanks, Joe, because you're keeping me on line. So this other guy, Leonard Lance, went on TV and literally said that phone calls made a difference. Now, he again is super hated in New Jersey, as far as from the progressive side, and people made enough phone calls where he was nervous that but he also came out and said he did it because of altruistic reasons, right? He did it to save people's lives. And just so you know, and this is how stupid I can be sometimes. I was calling senators. I'm such an idiot. I was supposed to be calling House of Representatives, and I'm calling senators when I should be calling my House of Representatives. So that I wasted so much time doing that. But it's really important to understand a couple of things. One is people really don't give a shit about politics. It's going to be so hard to make people care about this. And if you want any proof of that, find out who your House of Representatives are. Find out who your representatives are in your state. Go to their Facebook page, like their page, see how many people actually like the page, and compared to the population that they represent. You're going to find that it's extremely small. So, you can believe in social media numbers or not, or whether it's indicative of people's involvement. But trust me, people don't give a shit about this stuff, and it's really, really complex. The issue of healthcare is super complex. Now, people were crying about, oh, we shouldn't care that this failed. What are you people caring about? We need it. But yeah, but right now, the Medicaid expansion was so important. It saved so many people's lives. And that's basically when I was calling my senators, which stupidly I was saying, look, basically, stop killing people. We're not asking much. I'm not asking you much as a senator or House of Representatives. Just stop killing people. That's what I was calling on the phone. I was like, stop fucking killing bears while they sleep, and stop killing old people because you don't want them to give them Meals on Wheels. Just fucking stop killing people. I literally was just saying stop killing people. I think you have to break it down to the lowest common denominator. Let them really hear what they're doing. You're killing people. Let them hear those words. When you leave a message with them, make sure you're saying something that makes that fucking guy on the other end of the phone cringe. It's not just politics. You're dealing with people's lives. And they've made this so complex, and they've jaded so many people that people aren't involved with the process anymore. I mean, they just completely, that's why when we talk about getting people back involved in the movement, it's even the people who just don't give a shit anymore. How are we going to get them back? I have no fucking clue how you're going to get those people back. I don't blame them. When you give them a Donald Trump and a Hillary Clinton, how the fuck do you get these people back into the political process? I'm driving, and I'll tell you another thing. I'm driving with this Yemen, this guy who escaped Yemen. He's an Uber driver, and I asked him, "What do we do to help Yemen? What can we do?" And he's like, and he nails it. He goes, "You need an independent media, and that's never going to happen because no one's going to fund it, and so the problem will just persist. It's not, it's never going to end. No one's going to fund a media outlet where this stuff is going to be handled." I didn't prompt him. I didn't tell him to say anything. The Yemen Uber driver knows exactly what the fucking crisis is. And that's why it always comes back to here, because we're not going to hear about Yemen and how, there's 2.1 million kids dying of, or they're in famine, basically. There's a famine in Yemen. You're not going to hear about that. It's not the leggings, the people with the leggings. Now that's a fucking crisis. That some company wanted you to wear leggings or take your leggings off because you're flying free. That was the topic of the day. That was the issue of the day. If you don't understand what is wrong with American society, look at the top 100 people followed on Twitter. That'll give you a clear indication of how there's zero chance, if we don't have an independent, strong media, that grassroots media, that there's just no way that we're going to be able to handle everything. And this guy Gorsuch is, again, I don't even know, this gee golly, oh gosh, fucking corporate whore. It's just like, where do you get these candy store whores? I mean, this guy is just like trying to come across as he's like, oh gee willikers, oh gosh. Meanwhile, he's against workers. He's totally pro-corporate. He has all sorts of billionaire ties too. And that was, I make sure I source my stuff. That's from the New York Times, that he has a connection with some sort of Colorado billionaire. But he's up there, giving his sort of this acting job. And again, this is across the board. This is what I don't like the most is, I'll give you an example. I like to go to other Facebook pages and stuff and see what's going on. And I went to this one woman. Her name is Martha, hope I get this right, Roby, and she's the House Rep of Alabama, because I was going alphabetical. And she's a mother of two, and she wanted a complete repeal of the ACA. She wanted it all gone. And then when you go to her page to see the comments that are the people who are like, yeah, you did a good job, we should have repealed it, they're all Christian. They're all fucking Christians that want to repeal. Now, I think it has to be that somehow they've been, brainwashed to think that somehow defunding Planned Parenthood is somehow the righteous move there. So, people always say, we can't be mad at the Trump supporters. Here's my thing about a Trump supporter. If you got conned by Trump, I totally get it. But if you're still marching for Trump, you are a fucking idiot. I mean, if he hasn't made it clear of what it is that he's going to do, I don't know. I don't know how I can help you. I don't know how it couldn't be clearer with all his actions so far. Between the nepotism and the Steve Bannon and his cabinet, the tweeting. I mean, he's tweeting tonight again. He's just drunk tweeting the Freedom Caucus, which you have to love. First of all, he's starting a fight. He's starting a rift now. There's like some sort of civil war in the conservative movement, which is great. We want that. That's really important. I mean, we have our own progressive rift right now. Right? We have our own thing that I go through every day with the Bernie and the progressives and back and forth. But I think together, I think we're going to understand down the road. We're going to come together on Medicare, single payer, Medicare for all. I think we're going to push for that. But I think you have to realize that the possibility of all these things have nothing to do with the candidates. It has to do with the people and us who are so far gone. We're so far out of being activists and being involved. Like, I know the people who watch this page and the people who are involved with different Facebook pages think that people are active, but they're just not. That's what you have to worry about. How do we re-engage? How do we unite the movement? That's our biggest concern, because there's the problems of the world. The fact that, the great thing is people try to sell the shit that that Trump is this independent. He's already bombing Iraq, Syria, and Yemen, right? So he's up to 3 now. So yeah, you got 4 less than Obama. Yay! It's the same shit. Don't kid yourself. He's only been in there 60, 70 days. It's going to be the same shit. And if we don't unite to stop him, we're going to be in trouble. That's an issue, but it's kind of laughable. Look, and I got to tell you, this stuff is overwhelmingly difficult. All of it is I've never read the healthcare bill. I'm sure you haven't read the healthcare bill. We don't really know what's inside it. We do know that it's complex. We do know some of the basic things. The Medicaid expansion seemed really good. The fact that you could stay on your parents' plan until you're 26 seemed pretty good. I'm sorry, a penalty for not having insurance to me is not a bad idea. It's the same thing when you have car insurance. It's the same concept. We all pool in and it all gets paid out. It's not perfect. I get it. But the concept of everybody trying to pay in to help each other is not a bad concept. It makes sense. It works for car insurance. Now, yes, do we want single payer? Yes. Do we want Medicare? Yes. Is it likely to happen? No. And you know who the only one on a regular basis that talks about Medicare and single payer is Bernie Sanders. Now, I know you hate that. I know that drives a lot of you so crazy. But nobody else, the news doesn't talk about it. When he got to go on Rachel Maddow the other night, he got to push for single payer. He's about to put a bill across. So we have to be... I guess the fights that I've been having lately, I didn't want to go here tonight. I wanted to keep talking about other topics, so I got to be careful here, is you got to use your energy to build your movement without taking away from what was the biggest movement we ever had. I'm not going to go into details because I don't want to get into this whole arguments that I've had online, but you got to find a better way to build your movement. I don't know what the answer is, but right now it's not working. You would think that the Green Party would be exploding with followers on Facebook and Twitter, and that's just not happening. If you go to the Green Party, U.S. Green Party official Twitter page, they have 80,000 people. If you go to Jill Stein, she has 300,000 followers. If you go to Lee Camp's page, he has 300 followers. So it's really difficult to get this movement going, and I just believe that we're just not going about it the right way currently. All right, let me just see what you guys are saying. I'm so sorry I'm in landscape. I'm going to get in big trouble from the big bosses. I also need a time check, so if you guys can give me a time check. Yeah, I don't even know when the last time we guys talked. I'm just checking out. Just give me a chance here. Yeah, that was the other thing that I thought was really interesting was Ed Higgins said that the State Department had come out against the Russian protesters being arrested in Russia. That was just so crazy. So the State Department comes out against Russia and arresting the peaceful protesters, which is just insane. Meanwhile, Standing Rock. What else do you have to say? I mean, the hypocrisy of the government is just beyond anything. And again, it's all so overwhelming to keep tabs on all these events. And I'm really staying on Twitter more than I am on Facebook, and just the overload of information it's too much. I'm just checking your guys' comments. Lesting, we're all doomed. The Freedom Caucus is horrifying. They wanted to take even more benefits out of the plan. Evil. Right. The Freedom Caucus, which you should check out these guys in the Freedom Caucus and go to their pages and make comments and make sure. And that's the other thing is you got to out these people. So I guess that's the other thing I would tell you. So if you live more in a Facebook world, and you know the Freedom Caucus is just a bunch of evil motherfuckers, then you have to literally go to their pages, see what they post as far as why. Sorry, I had my nails are yellow from my wife made some sort of curry dish tonight. You have to go to their pages and then share their crazy statements on why they wanted to repeal the healthcare. So again, there are so many different things that we can do that we don't do, particularly in the Facebook world, which I'm really starting to not like that much. Like I said, I'm more on Twitter these days. The information is much more streamlined. But make sure that you're going out of your way to learn all your House of Representatives, all your senators, and try to contact them, get them on speed dial. If not, go to their Facebook pages, add them, share their shit, make comments. I mean, seriously, I do think trolling is important. I do think you can't let Freedom Caucus people believe what they're doing is right. I think that's really important. Thanks, Les Stein, for writing that. And the only person who contacted me was Emil, who I asked you guys, to keep me on top of what's going on in your state as far as your senators, your House of Reps. Emil was the only one who contacted me about California, where they're having a water problem in Humboldt County. And I know he contacted me. And I know there was a lot of flooding issues as well in California that he contacted me about. And again, I tell you guys, contact me through PM me about any story that you want me to at least talk about on here and get more people involved. But again, it's this community. It's this independent media. It has to grow. It has to become better. It's the only way. There is no other way to really defend ourselves. I truly believe that either it's going to take massive peaceful protests, which I wrote, massive peaceful protests to change this two-party dictatorship, or independent media is going to grow it. But grow the movement. Because so many people really, and like I said, it's so complex and it's so boring and so uninteresting. And you have to understand, in this world of distraction, where you have, think of all the things, Hulu and Netflix and movies and music and people can just completely drop out and not have to pay attention. And it's hard to bring them back in. So you sort of have to make it entertaining. You might actually have to shorten it. It's going to be difficult. This is going to be a real challenge to get people more involved. Kristen says they divided us. That's their plan. I don't even, that's a hard one. I just think we divide ourselves. It's hard to bring us back together, Kristen. I just believe the numbers game, the momentum game, it's still with Bernie, and I think and I know that just drives people crazy, but I'm looking at the actual numbers. I'm going to different sites and pages and Green Party pages. Even tonight, the Green Party had a great broadcast tonight, right, with Mosler, Warren Mosler. I don't even know who the two other people were who were talking about different monetary theories. And there was only 174 people watching. That should scare the fuck out of you. That's what should get, you should be like, oh, this is an amazing broadcast. This is great that we have 3 economists sort of banging shit out. But what should scare you is the 174 people that are watching. You should be like, what the fuck? Why is there? So that's what drives me crazy, is the fact that we just don't have, no matter what side that you think is correct, whether it's the Green Party or the Bernie Party or Progressive Independent, we still don't have the numbers. Remember, keep this in your head, 62 million people voted for Clinton. That's who we're going to be fighting next time. And the other fucking people voted for Trump. So we're going to be fighting these fucking people who went out there and took their time to vote for Clinton and Trump. I voted for Jill Stein. So, yeah, so I mean, we're all going to have these tests for our parties, right? But at the end of the day, there's going to have to be a driving force. And we can all talk about why Bernie Sanders does what he does. But he is 74, and he really doesn't have a long runway left for himself. So, I let Bernie make his own strategy. I think he knows best. He's the longest serving independent, right? So we have to sort of think that he knows what he's doing. And that's what I trust. I think half of it's strategy, half of it's belief. I believe, he's playing checkers and the rest of you guys, he's playing chess and the rest of you guys, I fucked that line up. He's playing checkers and the rest of you guys he's playing chess and the rest of you guys want to play checkers. And then I fucking totally screwed that line up. Anybody want to give me a time check? So, because I got to get going. So anyway, the other things that I'll tell you is feel free to contact me with any local story. So whenever state you live in, please keep an eye on your House of Reps, keep an eye on your senators. Please let me know from state to state. I mean, I just think it's really, all right, thanks so much, Katie. So we got 2 more minutes. So I just think it's really important for us to keep track of what's going on. That's what I would want from this network is serious news, comedy, small videos. I mean, we have so much work to do. And this is just a beginning process. This is just, and you guys are on board. This is Hidden Figures, man. We're trying to get to the fucking moon, man. And I really do appreciate it. But if you didn't check out the GNN network, the Green, what do they call themselves? The Green News Network. Check out their broadcast from tonight with Mosler and others. Share that broadcast. Contact me with any local news story. That's really important, only because it helps me to focus and maybe, investigate with you what's going on. Oh my God, there was rallies everywhere, Joe. I'm not really sure. Yeah, but Emil did get in contact with me about California, so check out Emil. Has information about water poisoning in Humboldt County that's just as bad in Flint in California. So there is water poisoning just as bad as Flint in California. I don't think that's being reported. And that's the stuff that this network needs to be about. News that you're not getting from anywhere else, focusing on the Yemen crisis and trying to figure out who's responsible for what, how can we help. But more importantly, to sort of get that and I'm going to use a bad word here, but get it into the mainstream. That's the key to what we're finally doing. I think to sit and yell at each other about things that just don't matter in the long run, as far as what is Bernie doing or what's the Green Party doing, I think we still have to keep some sort of tact, some sort of, we got to keep it together so that we keep focused on what we're trying to do, which is try to build an independent media. And I really do think, bringing a number of voices on here that disagree is more entertaining than three people sitting there who agree. I want it to be a give and take. So anyway, I got to go. I really didn't expect to broadcast tonight. I want to do a better job. I barely took any notes. I was just winging it. There's been so much shit going on. It's like, I swear to God, as I wrote on my Facebook, follow me on Facebook if you haven't. Follow me on Facebook so you know when I'm broadcasting and blah, blah, blah. But I swear, I wish I drank or smoked, because every time this motherfucker tweets, I would be taking a hit or taking a shot, because this guy's got the codes, and we all should be fucking nervous as hell. I don't care what you say. Be nervous about Trump. He's a fucking nut job for sure. It's unbelievable this guy tweets in the middle of the night. It's just, it's entertaining, but scary at the same time. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. See you. Real Progressives. Peace.